Every time you enter a digital space or a boardroom, the pressure is immediate. We are told that visibility is survival, that we must broadcast every thought and victory just to prove we haven't been forgotten. This creates a culture where we mistake volume for authority. The quietest person is often assumed to be the weakest, while the loudest is falsely equated with power. But maintaining that broadcast is exhausting. It traps you in a cycle where your focus shifts away from your actual work and toward the endless pursuit of external validation. In the end, participating in this noise doesn't amplify your message. It simply strips away your mystery and hands your attention over to anyone willing to watch. There is a specific reason for this desperation, captured in the proverb, "Empty vessels make the most noise." The loudest person in the room isn't usually the most dangerous. They are often the most insecure. Their aggressive broadcasting is a shield, used to mask a lack of substance with a surplus of sound. Consider the shift that happens when you stop seeking that validation. By intentionally withholding your strategy from the crowd, you move from being a predictable participant to an observer. Stepping out of the noise is the first step toward building genuine psychological leverage. You cannot control the environment if you are too busy auditioning for it. This transition marks the point where you stop feeding your ego and start feeding your awareness. It is a tactical retreat that leads to a superior vantage point. This diagram shows the concept of information asymmetry. If we treat a conversation as an economy, every time someone speaks, they are spending their capital, but the person who stays quiet is accumulating it. As others rush to dominate the airwaves, they unintentionally surrender their vulnerabilities, their blind spots, and their insecurities. They are giving you their roadmap for free. The silent observer uses this data to map out the terrain. They catalog every weakness in the room without ever revealing their own position or capabilities. In any negotiation or conflict, the person who speaks the least naturally holds the most information. In this economy, silence is the ultimate unfair advantage. This hidden depth is why the warning exists. Beware of a silent dog and still water. We are conditioned to see quietness as a lack of ideas or a sign of submission, but that is a catastrophic miscalculation. Weaponized silence functions as a psychological fortress. It forces your competitors to guess your motives and expend their energy trying to provoke a reaction that never comes. By withholding your reaction, you shift the entire burden of proof to your opponent. You let them exhaust their mental energy while you perfectly conserve your own. After the period of observation comes the moment of action. And when you finally move, it shouldn't be an announcement. It should be a result. This chart tracks the difference between a falling tree and a growing forest. One makes noise, the other builds scale. This initial crash represents loud, short-term actions. They create chaos and demand immediate attention, but they have no roots. They burn out as quickly as they appear. Contrast that with this smooth curve. This is quiet, long-term building. Because it doesn't announce itself, it encounters no resistance. It compounds in the background until its growth becomes exponential. True power is never announced to the world. It simply becomes the new reality that everyone else is forced to accept. You have a choice. You can chase the temporary dopamine of being heard, or you can commit to the deep, unshakable growth of a silent empire. Master the quiet. Subscribe to build your mindset. Welcome to the proverbial life. In a world that cannot stop talking, the most powerful thing you can do is remain perfectly still.